So think of the last time that you had to make a really tough decision. The type of decision where you felt completely stuck. You were feeling torn between your head and your heart. You were second guessing every possible outcome and you just felt in between. You replayed all the scenarios over and over. You were staying awake at night. You were asking everyone around you for advice. Maybe you were even Googling, what do I do when I don't know what to do? Maybe that decision was about a career move. Maybe it was about ending a relationship. Maybe it was about saying no to someone you love. Or maybe it was one of those moments where even the smallest choice, it felt overwhelming, like picking between two paths that both seemed wrong. Whatever it was, I want you to ask yourself, what actually guided that choice? Was it fear of letting someone down? Maybe it was pressure to do what people expected from you? Or was it something deeper? Something that actually aligned with who you are? Something that came out of your heart, your gut, your intuition. Here's the truth. The hardest decisions, they're not hard because we don't know what to do. They're not hard because the stakes are high. They are hard because we are terrified of choosing what is right for us. We're terrified to choose what we want to choose. We freeze, we overthink, and we avoid the real issue because we are scared of the fallout. We're scared of the regret. We're scared of the judgment or the change. We're scared of choosing ourselves. But the key to cutting through that fear is using your core values as your guide. When you know exactly what you stand for, decisions stop feeling like a tug of war. In this video, I'm going to show you how to quiet the noise, how to get crystal clear and make decisions that don't just feel good, but they are good for you because they honor who you are at your core. So you can never go wrong with them. Hi guys, I'm Andriana and welcome back to my channel. Today we are diving into the final episode of the core value series and I left the best for last. We are going to go into the moments that define us. That's the tough decisions, okay? These are the choices that keep you awake at night, the ones that feel like they will change everything once you make them. But the good news are that you don't have to face them alone. You can use your core values as your compass to guide you through that storm. By the end of this video, you will not only understand why you have struggled with tough decisions in the past, but you will also have a framework to face them with confidence, clarity, and conviction in the future. So let's get started. First of all, we need to understand why tough decisions feel impossible. When you're faced with a tough decision, your brain goes into overdrive. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, which is the mental discomfort of holding two conflicting ideas. So it's like a tug of war between your emotions and your logic. And the result is analysis paralysis. But the real reason why tough decisions feel so overwhelming is that they force you to confront what you value the most. And if you're not clear on your values, it's like you're trying to come out of a very stormy sea without any map, without any direction. When I was 24, which was actually some months ago, I had the opportunity to move across the country that I used to be for a job that looked perfect on paper. It was very well paying, everyone in my life was encouraging me to go for it, and it also allowed me to live an environment that I didn't want to be in. But deep down, I just felt a pit in my stomach. The truth was that I really valued creativity and I really valued freedom. And this job would have put me in a corporate box that felt suffocating. So I tried working there for a week, and that whole week that I was there, I kind of suffered. It felt more like a month has passed, but it was just the first 2 days. So I spent the whole week agonizing over the decision of whether to stay and keep the financial stability or leave, get my freedom, and start something new again. Starting something that I had no idea if it will work and having to face all that if I decided to do it. And I just decided to just sit down and Figure out what do I value, what is most important to me. And I realized that this job might look good to others, but it wasn't good for me. It wasn't aligned with who I am. Deciding to say no was very hard, but it was also very freeing. When I made that decision, I felt like it was the only one. It felt so deeply right, and I felt immediately so glad that I decided that. So I'm gonna give you the 3-step framework, value-driven decisions. So you don't have to suffer as much as I did when I was going through that. This is a framework you're gonna use when you're faced with a tough decisions in life, okay? Step number 1 is to identify the real stakes. So every tough decision comes with a hidden question. The question is, what am I really afraid of? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of stepping into the unknown? Identifying the real stakes helps you separate your emotions from the facts. Think of your decisions like a camera lens, right? Fear zooms in, it makes a problem seem so huge. There's only that. When you zoom out, you can see the bigger picture. You can see that the problem is not as big as you think and feel that it is. So the real stakes become clearer. Fear often stems from what psychologists call the negative bias. So our brains have the tendency to focus on potential losses more than gains. When you shift your focus to what you could gain, start to see the possibilities instead of just the risks, instead of just the problems, instead of just the what if this goes wrong. Step number 2 is to hold each option up against your values. Here's where your values become your compass and your guide. Take each option and ask, does this align with what I stand for? Will this decision honor the person that I want to be? If the answer is no, then it's not the right choice, no matter how tempting it seems. So I knew a person that was offered a promotion that required working 80-hour weeks. And on paper, it was a dream offer, but when she thought about her values of family, she realized that she will miss so much precious time with her kids. So she just turned it down, and instead she found a role that allowed her to grow still professionally without sacrificing what mattered most to her. Values aren't just a list, they are a filter. If something doesn't pass through it, it doesn't belong in your life. Step number 3 is to imagine your future self. Okay, so close your eyes and picture the version of you 5 years from now. What choice will they thank you for? This perspective can help you cut through the noise of the present and your present problems and focus on the long-term impact. So think of your future self as a lighthouse that shines a light on the path ahead. They are already living the life that you want, so your job is to align your decisions with their vision. So when I was deciding whether to leave a relationship, I asked myself, what will my future me say? And the answer became very clear very fast. She would say, thank you for choosing yourself. That clarity gave me the strength to walk away. So let's talk about overcoming emotional blocks. So even when you know the right choice, emotions like guilt, fear, they can still hold you back from taking a decision that aligns with your values. And these emotions are not your enemy. They are just there to protect you. And most of the times they are signals. Guilt often means that you're breaking a pattern of people pleasing. Fear means you are stepping into growth. So when I made the decision to say no to that big job opportunity, I struggled so much with making that decision, partly because I felt like I was also saying no to my family's expectations. I felt guilty for wanting a career path they didn't know of. I felt guilty for saying no to an opportunity that anyone in my position will dream of, offering stability that they wish that they could have in my age. But when I dug deeper, I realized that that guilt was a sign that I was finally choosing to make a decision for myself and not for others. And that was a decision that I didn't take for a lot of times that I was given the opportunity to. And that accumulated to a big guilt and a big fear. It was a decision that made me feel guilty because I knew that it was a decision my parents didn't honor for themselves when they could have. So you have to understand that your guilt is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're doing something brave. Big part of this is understanding the peace that comes with alignment. So saying no to that big job opportunity and deciding to leave after working there for a week was one of the toughest decisions I ever made. And I did it because it crashed with my value of freedom, value of independence, creativity, and authenticity. And at that time where I was trying to make the decision, I questioned myself endlessly. I was like, what if I regret this? Once I made the decision, I really felt an overwhelming sense of peace. And that's the gift of alignment. It doesn't eliminate the challenges, but it gives you the confidence to face them. For me, that was my sign. So there are a lot of studies that show that people who make decisions that are based on their values, they end up reporting higher levels of life satisfaction, lower levels of regret. Why is that? It's because they are living authentically. Even when the road is hard, they choose to go through that path still because it's what aligns with them, it's what aligns with your values. It doesn't matter if it's hard, it's what is in alignment with them. So let's recap. Tough decisions become easier when you firstly identify the real stakes. Secondly, you hold each option up against your values. And thirdly, you picture your future self. So remember, no decision will ever feel perfect while you're making it. When it aligns with your values, it will feel right. And that is what matters. Tough decisions aren't just obstacles, they're opportunities that are given to you. Every time you face them, you have the chance to choose alignment over fear, choose growth over comfort, to choose authenticity over approval. Every time you're faced with these big decisions and you go and make the decision that is aligned with your values, you will never regret it. Trust me, I was faced with the same decision but in a different format a lot of times previously in my life. And each of that time, I made the decision that wasn't aligned with my core values. And because I was not learning my lesson, that decision came again and again and again until I decided to make the right one, to make the decision that finally was in alignment with me. And if I made the decision to stay in that job, I would still have to face the decision again in my life where I will have to choose stability over freedom and over authenticity and growth. So I really wish I've done this sooner, but I guess sometimes you need more time to become prepared of it. So for you guys, you could use this video, you could use the insight of this video to make the tough decision when you're faced with it. And it could save you years, it could save you months, it could save you so much energy and so much hassle that is so unnecessary. So I really wish that this video helped you and you could come back to it when you need it. If this video helped you, you can share it with someone that you think might need to hear it too. It might be exactly what they need to hear. And remember, the hardest decisions often lead to the most beautiful transformations. So trust your values, trust yourself, and also trust the process. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.